and undead. I am Guinevere, daughter of Lord Gwyn and Queen of Sunlight. Since the day Father his form did obscureth, I have awaited thee. I bequeath the Lord Vessel.
That's a huge bitch!
Well, finally, after over 10 years, I can sit here and proudly say I have completed Dark Souls. Well, Dark Souls Remastered. I did play the original Dark Souls back in the day, which was the original Prepare to Die version, and in all honesty, it was so long ago that it pretty much looks the same. This remastered version looks the same as I thought the original game did. Of course, it's not. The remastered version is higher frame rates and just better textures and everything. And they clean up a lot of the stuff, which I'm very glad at. But I finally did it. It took me about 28-ish hours to do. And I immediately went straight back in, and I'm halfway through a second playthrough to get the other ending. Because if anybody wants to know, the ending I chose was I lit the bonfire. So that was the ending I chose. So I know that if I walk through the door, you get another ending. Mild spoiler alert, I suppose. But Dark Souls aren't really played for their story. Even though there is a story and lore there, I will be openly honest with you, I'm a little hazy on what that is, so I'm not going to touch on that. What I'm going to touch on is the gameplay and the atmosphere that From Software created with Dark Souls, because it's really good. And Dark Souls, after playing through it, I hammered it this last week, and I absolutely love it. Did try to move on to Dark Souls 2, but Dark Souls 2 was a bit icky. So I'll get to that one at another time. But if you've never played Dark Souls before, I do highly recommend you play it. I know they're difficult games. I know that people struggle with some Souls-like games and stuff, and I get it. I understand it. But Dark Souls, after I understood where I was going, yes, I hold my hand up. I did go online and sort of say, okay, I try and figure out what to do myself, and then I get lost and confused, and I don't have infinite time. I'm not young, I haven't got summer holidays, or I haven't got a load of half terms off school. I have not got the time to figure out and spend hundreds of hours on a game to figure out where I need to go. That's what we have the internet for, and there's nothing wrong with looking at a guide and going, okay, where do I go after this boss? Oh, okay, I go that way, and then I just nudge myself in the right direction, and I'd go. At a couple of points in the game, it gives you opportunities to grind up souls. Well, I say quickly, but I spent a good hour per time grinding just to get enough souls to level myself up. I will recommend that you look online and you level up the right stats, because if you level up the wrong stats, you're just wasting your leveling up, basically. You want to level up for whatever it is you want to do. I went in as a knight, so I worked towards utilizing the Black Knight Greatsword, which is what you see here. The gameplay that I'm showing you here is from my New Game Plus gameplay. So I'm pretty, I'm a lot stronger. I think I'm like level 90 odd or something. So I'm absolutely munching through a lot of things. But that being said, still, you have to approach this where every single enemy, no matter how big or small, can absolutely fist you. So you got to go by that logic and make sure that you don't underestimate anything, because at any point, any enemy could just tear you a new one. And I do like that about the game. I found it really awesome. There's a lot of really cool areas, and considering the game's only about like 8 gigabytes in storage, which is insane. This game is a massive game for an 8 gigabyte game. It is absolutely incredible what they managed to do. There's loads of really cool boss fights. There is some bullshit boss fights like the Bed of Chaos, which are just more annoying than anything. But luckily the Bed of Chaos saves at certain checkpoints, which is really cool. I'm not going to show you too many boss fights in this game footage, because I want to leave something to the imagination, because there were areas that I didn't even know existed within Dark Souls, and there's loads of optional areas as well, which again I haven't done. I'm going to go through the second playthrough and get the other ending, and then on my third playthrough I think I'm going to work towards 100%ing by collecting all the sorceries and all the weapons and items and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. Like I said earlier, you can find all manner of different weapons and different armors, and then you can upgrade them as well, which is pretty cool. Your Estus flask, which is used for obviously for getting your life back, you can upgrade with Firekeeper souls. I didn't figure that out until much later on in the game, I can tell you that. There's a lot of really cool NPCs that you can talk to, and different quests that you can do for them. Of course, I don't know how some of the people figured out how to do a lot of the things in this game, so that's just insane. This game does beg for exploration, which is really, really cool. You have to get key items and keys to unlock certain doors or certain areas and do certain things. There is still PvP, which is still active, but they can only come at you when you reverse your hollowing. So you start off as a hollow, so basically just a person without a soul, and then you use human effigies to become human again. But when you're human, you get some other benefits from it too, but you can also summon NPCs and other players to help you fight bosses, but you can also get invaded by other players. And I'm telling you now, every single time I was invaded by another player, I got absolutely savaged, because once again, although I've put like 30 odd hours within this last week, I'm no Dark Souls pro, but there are some people that have been hammering this game so hard that there's just no point. I just stand there and let them backstab me, because there's no point in me trying to fight them, because they'll just counter what I'm going to do. I know when I'm beat, I just accept defeat. But I really did enjoy playing through Dark Souls, and I have to say that with all the different weapons, ranged, magic and melee weapons, all the different options, all the different areas, the challenge, overcoming the challenge, it's all awesome and interesting. And if you just take the time to play it, you will die a lot. That is just the way it is. Even on after playing through the game, and I know where I got to go, you will die. You just got to accept it. And Dark Souls, it gives you many opportunities, like I said, to grind, to gain levels, to buy items, to do things. You do unlock fast travel between certain bonfires after you get through the most bullshit boss fight of the entire game, where you fight 2 bosses in one go. For those who've played it, you know who I mean. That took me some goes, and I can tell you, but when I did that was a great feeling once I overcome that obstacle. And that is the high. Dark Souls provide, and well, not just Dark Souls, but Souls-like games provide that high. It's challenging. It's a challenge for yourself, and then you overcome it. And for the most part, the challenge is all you. It's you have to be patient. You have to just not get greedy. You have to be able to learn enemy attacks, boss attacks, make sure you're aware of your surroundings so you don't fall off anywhere or do anything stupid, and just persevere, get better, and go. The whole get good thing is, yes, it's a bit crude, it's a crude way of saying it, but you just need to keep playing, and you need to better yourself, because if you better yourself, you'll have a lot more, you just get more and more fun at the game, and that's all that gaming's really about, really, is fun. And I had a ton of fun with Dark Souls. Like I said, I've beaten a few bosses in Dark Souls 2, and I'm munching through, and Dark Souls 2 is a little odd and a little icky. I have played Dark Souls 3 before, and I did have a really good time with Dark Souls 3, because it goes back to a more feel of Dark Souls 1. But I think I might skip 2, go straight to 3, and then go to 2 at a later date, because, like I said, 2 is icky. But Dark Souls 1, I do still highly recommend in 2024. It's an amazing game. It was a great experience, and it was, like I said, it was so good that as soon as you start back up again in New Game Plus, I carried on playing. And then the first demon you come up against, I like 3-shot him. Swung my greatsword at him like 2 or 3 times, and he was dead. When beforehand, when you're first playing the game, you're really struggling. You're, I'm unsure. I don't know what to do. This time, I knew what his attacks. I knew what he was going to do, and I breezed through that. And then, for the most part, every single boss apart from that, I took out straight away, which is it's a great feeling, because you've gotten better at yes, you've got better gear, but that goes without saying. You have better gear, but you have the knowledge, you know better, you're not afraid of the bosses anymore, so you just go and plow through them, and that is a phenomenal feeling. But please let me know down below if you have checked out Dark Souls. Yes, the game is definitely well worth it. It is so damn good, and it's a game that I will continue to go back to 100%, and then even after that, I'll go back to it in future and play through it again, because I had such a good time. But as always, thank you very much for watching.